The Achilles heel of Lucky, our 2016 Tesla Model X, is not the falcon wing doors. It's the air suspension. I'm going to tell you all about it in this TesLUCKY video. So glad you're here. Welcome back to TesLUCKY, the YouTube channel where you can follow the adventures of Lucky, the 2016 Tesla Model X, and Karma, the 2024 Tesla Model Y. Today's video is all about Lucky, the vehicle I am sitting in. I do keep very meticulous records. I've got a red binder for Lucky and a blue binder for Karma. Shout out to Carly, who is not able to join for this TesLUCKY video because she is in New York City working on her singing, acting, and dancing. Mwah. Miss you, Carly. So proud of you. We haven't had to spend a lot of money on Lucky recently. Our most recent maintenance with the vehicle was back in February of this year, 2025. We had the windshield wipers replaced for $94.92. Before that, the last time we had to spend any real money on Lucky for maintenance was back in September of 2024. We had to replace the charge port door. That cost $484.83. We have two videos posted on that topic. The first one was our undrivable for this video, posted August 27 of 2024. And the second one includes 7 learnings from the charge port door replacement, posted on September 8th of 2024. Here's what's coming next. Number 1, I'm going to cover the air suspension maintenance history for the life of this vehicle. Number 2, I'm going to talk about the timeline from when we first got the most recent air suspension error message up on the screen. Then tomorrow I have to get up at 5 a.m. and drive 130 miles to Tesla in Coral Gables, and we'll see what happens with the visit and all the repairs. And let's get to the air suspension history. I'm going to put up a grid on the screen. It's a lot of details. If you really want to read each and every word, I suggest you pause the video. We have had 7 different maintenance episodes relating to air suspension, 4 covered under warranty, 3 were not covered under warranty, and those 3 repairs cost $1,813.88. These 7 maintenance episodes include 10 different individual repairs. 4 times we had to have the compressor replaced, 2 times we had to have the air suspension valve block replaced, and then 1 time they resealed the area around the front upper control arm ball joints. I think that's a lot of maintenance to air suspension on this Model X, and that's why I call the air suspension the Achilles heel of Lucky. Now here's the timeline for the last 2 months relating to this repair. On May 6th, we got the alert on the screen that read, air suspension unable to raise, functionality may be restored on next drive. Now I don't know about you, but usually when I see that message, whatever functionality is lost does not resume on the next drive. Now here's where rural Tesla ownership gets interesting. There are going to be times when things that are routine for like big city Tesla drivers are just not convenient at all for us remote folks. And remember, about 80% of the time, routine maintenance and repairs can be done by Tesla at your home or your place of work with Tesla mobile service. But the only thing here is that if they have to put the vehicle up on the lift, they can't do that at your house. On May 10th, I requested service in the Tesla mobile app, and this part is a little bit different. I had to wait for Tesla to review the request before I could schedule the appointment. Usually it would go straight to the calendar and let me look at the available dates, but this time I had to wait for Tesla to review the request. Tesla did approve the request for maintenance, and then I had to get Tesla on the phone. There are some things that you can accomplish with them via text, but I had some really crazy logistics and I needed to speak to a live human being. Now, there was a scheduling detail I was able to take care of easily in the Tesla app, and that was the fact that back on May 16th, they only had a month's worth of future appointment dates in the calendar, and I really needed Saturday, July 5th. It was like quite literally the only day in 3 months, just based on our summer vacation schedule and my work schedule, that I could get lucky up to Coral Gables. So that was simple. I did text that in the app, and they did confirm the exact date and time that I wanted, even though it was like 2 months in advance. Now jump forward to May 22nd. Actually took me 6 days of phone tag with Tesla to get 3 really important details ironed out with them based on my unique rural circumstances. And it was so weird because Tesla would call me and it would like show up as Humana on the phone, or it would go straight to voicemail, and then I wouldn't realize for like 24 hours that Tesla had called. But I was able to speak with a great manager in the Tesla Service Center, Coral Gables. We're going to call her Jane for the purposes of this video. I don't know if she would want her name revealed, but she was awesome. She was able to listen to me, and she was very reasonable and was able to accommodate me on a few really important details. Thing one that Jane helped me with was that originally Tesla only wanted to schedule a diagnostic appointment with me because they wanted to, figure out what the problem was first and then order the parts, and they wanted me to bring the vehicle in, figure out what the problem was, and then come back a different day to get the actual work done after they had ordered the parts. And that just isn't convenient for me at all. It's almost a 6-hour round trip for me to get to and from the service center, and I can't just use their offer for free Uber credits to, go home and come back. After I explained Lucky's air suspension maintenance history to Jane, she understood the challenge here and the fact that, if they would just order the compressor and those control upper arm right and left dealios and have those on hand, it would dramatically increase the chances of them doing the repairs in a single day. So she made the decision and gave her approval for them to do this, which is not their normal protocol. And this is the difference, speaking to a manager on the phone who's listening to you and can understand the issues a little bit easier than going back and forth just messaging in the app. Because an earlier representative to the same question told me that they could not order parts until they diagnosed the problem. That person told me that my request was, quote, the complete opposite of their process. But Jane made it happen. And really, this isn't a big deal for Tesla. They have these parts on stock. If it's something else going on with my vehicle, then they'll just use those parts on another Model X. Thing two was also a very big win. Because Lucky is out of warranty, we do not technically qualify for a loaner vehicle, but I appealed to Jane and I explained to her my situation, and she said that she would approve the exception for me to be granted a loaner vehicle if at all possible, based on loaner vehicle inventory on the day of service. Thing three is a question. Will Tesla be able to finish this repair same day? Only time will tell. So my appointment tomorrow is on a Saturday, and Tesla Coral Gables Service Center used to be open on Sunday, which would have made this scenario much less stressful. I am charging Lucky to 100% state of charge on the battery tonight. Then we drive the 130 miles. Lucky will be at approximately 48% battery. I am going to ask Tesla to please charge the vehicle before and after the service to the highest state of charge that they can. I'm really hoping that I can drive back to Big Pine Key without having to pay for supercharging. I'll give you an update tomorrow in Coral Gables. It's Saturday morning in Coral Gables at the Tesla Service Center, and I am happy as a clam for so many reasons. I can't wait to tell you all about it. First of all, I met Jane, my service center hero, in the parking lot and was able to thank her for everything that she did on the logistics for this appointment, and also putting in the recommendation for me to get a loaner, which I am sitting in. I am in a beautiful white 2025 Tesla Model X. This is the first time I've ever had an X as a loaner. I have basically moved into the loaner. I even moved over my jackets and my AC mini fridge in the back. Now, I'm thinking that Tesla might have put me in a brand new $114,000 Model X because I have a 9-year-old Model X, and maybe they're thinking I'm gonna buy a new Model X after this experience, but I am not buying a new Model X today. Tesla Coral Gables service department now has a night shift. So they are not open on Sunday tomorrow, but they do have a night shift. They're working until midnight or 12:30. I can't remember what the guy said. And so that increases the chances that I will be able to take Lucky home tomorrow. So even if the vehicle is done at midnight, they said I could pick the vehicle up 5 minutes later. It'll be some type of like remote, humanless, touchless pickup, or I can get it in the morning, or I can get it tomorrow afternoon. So fingers crossed that that's going to happen. I do appreciate being marked as priority under the circumstances. This is the first time that Lucky has been out of the Florida Keys in about 15 months, and she made a really important discovery. When I was driving out of the Keys in Florida City, noticed the construction of a brand new Chick-fil-A, like the southernmost part of Dade County. This is big news for residents of the Florida Keys because we are a Long Island chain in a county that's about 120 miles long, and there's no Chick-fil-A, but now there's going to be one right at the gateway to the Florida Keys. This is big news. Carly's going to be excited. The 130-mile drive from Big Pine Key to Coral Gables this morning, by the way, felt like I was galloping on a horse the entire time. Oh my gosh. The mood octopus bounced off the front of the vehicle, which has been happening every day. And I even think that my mini fridge in the back got airborne a few times. It was a wild and bumpy ride. So this 2025 Model X also has yoke steering, which is going to be an adjustment for me. And there's no stock for putting it in reverse or drive. You have to do that on the touch screen. It took me about 2 minutes to figure that out. There's a little screen in the back and AC control in the back. We will see what happens throughout the day. Tesla gives you updates on the service right in the app, so stay tuned. It's now Sunday evening, July 6th. Lucky is back at home. I enjoyed a very smooth and comfortable, luxurious, bump-free ride back from Miami today. And let me tell you, Tesla Coral Gables Service Center absolutely hit a home run for me with the bases loaded. I could not be any more pleased. Here's a timeline for how everything went down after I dropped off the vehicle yesterday. Less than 2 hours after I dropped Lucky off at 11:09, I noticed in the app that the frunk was open, the driver's door was open, and I could tell they had already started working on the vehicle. At 2:50, I had a cost estimate in the app to approve, and then about 2 hours later, I was notified both by the app and a phone call from Tesla that my vehicle was ready for pickup, and I was back to the dealership by 5:30, like 30 minutes before they would close. When I arrived to pick up Lucky, she had 90% state of charge on the battery, which was amazing and meant that I was able to get all the way home without having to charge anywhere. They had a sign posted indicating a new policy that they aren't able to charge vehicles that are in for service, but the representative told me that, they have that policy posted because they can't guarantee the availability of a charger each and every time for each and every Tesla that comes in for service. But if they can, they will, and they knew how important it was to me. As I was driving the loaner back to the service center to pick up Lucky, I was on the phone with my husband telling him that I was in a brand new 2025 Model X, and he was like, please don't buy another Tesla. So yeah, I told him, no, you don't have to worry about that. Nice try, Tesla. I know that worked on me before with the Model Y loaner, but I have to say, truthfully, I love my 2026 Tesla so much. I would not have traded Lucky for that loaner. I just don't think I could get used to that yoke steering wheel. I actually found it very awkward to use a rectangle instead of a circle to make turns. And I really think that I would miss the stalks for the turn signal and for changing the gears, you know, for drive, reverse, and park. I only had the vehicle for, you know, like a day. Maybe it would just take longer to get used to it, but I love Lucky. Keeping Lucky. Now that said, I do still wish we could get a hardware retrofit for Lucky to get full self-driving. I ask Tesla about that, you know, once or twice a year, and the answer is always no, never. For the grand finale, let me give you a breakdown of the work that they did on Lucky and the costs associated with the work. First of all, there was 2 general diagnostic fees. The first one was $167.40, and the second one, $43.40. That's because the work order was listing 2 issues. Issue number 1 was the error message behind the screen that the vehicle was unable to rise or lower. And the second issue was that there was a lot of squeaking when the wheel would turn. As it relates to issue number 1, they removed and replaced the air compressor. Again, that's the 5th time in Lucky, and that's why I call it her Achilles heel. The parts for this repair, $263.35, and the labor, $223.20. There also was a charge of $37.20 for replacing a fuse in the fuse box. I don't honestly know what that's all about. I have no clue. Anybody have any theories about why they would have to change a fuse relating to this? Please let me know. Now, a couple little surprises and things I was super happy with relating to issue number 2 is that they went ahead and they changed the front upper control arm assembly on the right and the left side. That is also broken a few times on Lucky, and just based on how far it is to the service center, I'm glad that they replaced both of these at once, so I shouldn't have to return up to Coral Gables anytime soon for another, you know, maintenance relating to suspension. We should be good to go for a while. Then I noticed on the invoice relating to this repair that there was a parts fee of $183.82, and then on the invoice it listed labor hours at 1.38 at a rate of 0. Now Tesla charges $310 per hour for labor, and I don't know exactly why I earned this break. I mean, maybe they kind of did both of these repairs like simultaneously, and they just decided to do a solid 2 Tesla customer right by not charging the labor for the second repair. But you know, I figure that was probably about $425. The total cost of the invoice was $982.66. Great job, Tesla Coral Gables Service Center. You guys, you really did me right. If you have any questions at all about Lucky's Achilles heel or any other aspects of our maintenance or ownership of this 2016 Tesla Model X, please let us know in the comments below. And I also want to let you know that we are currently at 164,686 miles. So it's only about 10,000 more miles, and then we'll be repeating our series of videos that we do every 25,000 miles for battery health, maintenance expenses, which of course will be including everything from today, and tire recap. Those videos are planned for 175,000 miles, so please go ahead, click the bell for notifications, go ahead and click the like button if you will. Thank you so much for watching to the end. We'll see you in our next video.